Tyler Perry is being sued for $260 million over sexual assault claims, which he has denied. Last week, a lawsuit was filed against the actor and filmmaker on Friday, June 13th. He picked Friday the 13th to file these charges. Crazy. By Derek Dixon, who played the character Dale in Perry's show, The Oval. So Dixon alleges there's a sustained pattern of workplace sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, and he's suing the filmmaker for allegedly quid pro quo sexual harassment, workplace environment harassment, and more. So he alleged that he was in the bed taking a nap. Tyler Perry came in there with the Medea suit on, spooned him and was rubbing on his thighs. He looked over, big 6'5", 280 pounds. Hallelujah. And now he's filing these charges. And this is crazy. Because how many times on this show we done broke down, they're coming after every single successful black man in Hollywood.
I don't even think this is the first time.
I
don't even think this is the first time that they try to put allegations on this man.
And it's crazy because, you know, he got the LGBT allegations on him where people are alleging, you know, he might be swinging, batting for the other team.
Man, the Boondocks said it already, bro. They was ahead of his time. They already put it out there. They already knew something we didn't know.
That, but when you playing all these Medea roles and all that, now you leaving room. And it's crazy. It's crazy because I think Tyler Perry was actually abused as a child.
He was.
So, you know, a lot of times, a lot of people that's not even just mentally or stuff like that go through those things, they become those type of people.
Yeah.
So you never know. I'm not putting these allegations on them. This is all allegedly, but it's just crazy that, I don't know, maybe you offended the wrong person, or maybe you actually did what you did. Did he do it? Did he not?
Someone that probably was sexually assaulted when as a child, they typically become hypersexual, asexual, where they don't want to do it at all, or they become homosexual. But, you know what I'm saying? It kind of create that.
When it's grown men though, that's BS, like you said, maybe one-on-one and stuff like that. This dude that they showing, you two grown and whatever, to not, one dude, you better get him up off of you. If it was something, I don't know the details of it yet.
Maybe he quaalude him too, man.
So this is what it says. It says the lawsuit alleges Perry promised Dixon career advancement and creative opportunities, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advancements. I don't care what nobody say. A grown man jump in your bed and rubbing on your thigh, your first reaction gonna be to get up, blazing, beat him to a pulp, and then you're gonna figure out what's going on.
Unless you a weirdo and you was a part of that.
Yeah, unless you wanted that, unless you was kind of flirting back with him.
This is what it sounded like. It sounded like, when he's making it seem like, Tyler Perry told him, hey, come do something strange for a little piece of change. You're going to be the next star in Hollywood. It sounded like he might have did it, and it didn't pan out that way. But I'm not even giving him that benefit of the doubt. I'm saying this is an all-out attack on everybody who got any power in the culture. They just got Shannon Sharp the fuck up out of there.
Yeah, I ain't heard nothing from
you ain't heard nothing. We ain't seen him on nothing.
I think for him, he taking a hiatus until football season come out, then slowly go come back.
No, he's waiting till them charges is getting trumped.
Smokey Robinson, you got
Byron
Scott, you got Bill Cosby. I mean, you got R. Kelly out of it. Well, R. Kelly did it to himself.
Well, Diddy.
Diddy. You got to think, everybody who got any type of power in Hollywood from our community, slowly but surely, it's the same place, sexual harassment.
But you know what's crazy, right? Like you said, we know he didn't play these Medea roles and stuff like that. You know, they usually send the white girl at you. They sent the white man at him because he got the zesty stuff going on. If they did do that, like, this is more believable. Because, you know, if they probably would have sent the girl, niggas would be like, man, Cut probably don't even like bitches like that.
Yeah, he turned it down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nah, he ain't going to do nothing to no woman.
Remember that was in...
Now they trying to create something that's more believable if this is true or not.
So this is what's even crazy. It says, the lawsuit continues that at the end of the... Okay, so he's telling the story of what happened. He said the lawsuit states that Tyler Perry cast Dixon in the show Ruthless and began sending Dixon strange and untowardly messages. I ain't never even heard that word, untowardly. In June 2020, so this started during COVID. The lawsuit alleges that Perry invited Dixon to his home in Douglasville County, Georgia, where they drank alcoholic drinks and had friendly conversations. It said the lawsuit continues that at the end of the night, Perry told Dixon not to drive home and offered Dixon the guest room in the home. The lawsuit alleges Perry assaulted Dixon that night. So why we didn't hear about it that night?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, according to the lawsuit, following the assault, Dixon tried to ignore Perry's calls or texts, which became more aggressive until finally Perry offered Dixon a part in a new show called The Oval. According to the lawsuit, Dixon put up with Perry's comments due to fear over his role show being cut. Okay, that's it for me. Whether this happened or not, the second you ignore what happened, you went back and he promised you to get on the show, allegedly, and you said, cool, what are we talking about at this point?
And he did what he had to do to get on for the show.
Man, what the fuck are we talking about at this point, man?
You did something strange for a little piece
What
of
they
change.
say, that's the director couch.
If that is true, or it's more like you said, it didn't crack, or you didn't get as much involved in that role, you probably wanted, so you probably just mad about it. Now you're trying to catch a break on the back end. You a low fruit hanging actor. You ain't getting no money, so now you're trying to tear a hole in his pockets for the most part. But it's like, these niggas is crazy. And this is why we say when a lot of our people get to a point, it's not about just doing stuff for everybody, but these millionaires and billionaires as black men need to have some type of power circle. So when you do have these people that's freezing your assets and you get in the spots where they cutting your water off, they can't cut your water off. Because if you got 5 or 10 millionaires and they turn your water off, one person of all of us just lend you $1 million until you handle yourself. You're still gonna be straight.
Exactly.
We be when we fall with each other crutches.
Yeah, like
but
kind of like a
now
union.
all y'all get put on an island because you like, okay, I'm making X amount of money. I ain't tripping. I'm a billionaire. Till they freeze your assets and lock you down, and now you looking stupid. The same way you see all these people, everybody getting positions. Shannon Sharp, they cut his water off. But if he has some more people that's behind him, as far as our people with money and power, then they couldn't just cut his water off. They could build your own show. So you can come start doing stuff here. So
no, that's perfect. That is perfectly described of what they call that, like a mastermind
Networking.
circle. No, it's like you got like a power
mastermind
circle.
Yeah. Or just a power circle team.
So my hunch was right. He put up with the assaults, the sexual advances. He did something strange for a little piece of change. He got the role, but it says Tyler Perry got more aggressive towards the end of the show. It said things allegedly escalated between Dixon and Perry after they filmed the episode where Dixon's character was shot 4 times, indicating and seemingly ending his role on the show and termination of his job. So he got the role. He was sucking dick, doing whatever, allegedly, taking it in the ass, giving it whatever was going on that he claimed was going on. He was fine with it, long as he had the role allegedly, which I don't believe none of this. But I'm just saying, if this is the way it happened. His character gets killed off. Tyler Perry like, all right, on to the next. And now, oh my God. Like
my boyfriend left me. That's what
like
it is.
Like a bad little Instagram bitch.
Yeah, a little bit of that too. Or you didn't blow like you wanted to. You think you probably gonna last for seasons after seasons.
Yeah.
Cuz knocks you right off.
Yeah, man.
And you know he writing up the scripts or got something to do with it. Like knocked you off on there and then knocked you off in real life.
Yeah.
Like nigga kick rocks.
No, you do. He treat him like you do a bitch after you get tired of fucking with her, man. You know what I'm saying? You get what you get out of her, and then you kick her to the curb and keep it pushing, let her deal with the next man. So that's what he was. He got tired of his little white boyfriend. He was like, all right, this cool. This is all the most I can get out of it. And shit, he kicked him to the curb and on to the next. I mean, he's Tyler Perry. He can get what he want.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I don't know if y'all seen also, Tyler Perry has spoke out not too long ago about talking about how black people need to stand up. You know, we need to wake up. They're erasing stuff out our history books. They doing all these things like that. So maybe that's just a quick another way to silence him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't start treading down this like this ain't never been you. Now you got power. You better not start speaking up for black people.
Oh, he
keep making your movies.
Where was that?
It was on one of them. I think it was
one of the award shows. He said because he went off the script.
Awards.
It might have been. He went off the script. He said, "I'm gonna just say this. I don't know if y'all noticing." They taking our history out the schools. They taking our books off the shelves. They're seemingly taking our footprint out of the world to where it's like we don't even exist.
Kind of
slowly
like how they
but
did.
surely.
Kind of like how they did in Egypt with the hieroglyphics. They put the story on top of the original story. But I'm gonna just say this: it's not to knock what Tyler Perry
said.
said.
Great point.
Exactly. They always do that.
All of a sudden, he get hit with this right after he say that.
I just think this though.
Oh, yeah, I think it was that Ultimate Icon Award.
I feel like this though, real talk though. It's not really the schools or like non-blacks to teach us our history. It's up to us to teach our own history. So we pass it down. It don't even matter if it's not in the school books. Our children know because we're teaching them within ourselves. We can't expect no one that's non-black to teach our history to us. So if we know, all we know is we came from slaves. And then we got the civil rights. And then that's pretty much black history in school. We're much more than that. So we got to start teaching our children history beyond that.
Hey, that's fast. Because, you know, shortly after Diddy made some remarks about empowering black people.
Yeah, he won his own political party.
Because we all only looking at the lawsuit with the alcohol. Y'all forgot he said, hey, it's time to make our own political party.
He was talking
Neither
about
one of
being
these
structured.
candidates are for
Yeah.
us. He saw the Trump shit coming. He saw the Kamala shit coming. He said, hey, man, check this out.
Let's
We've
take
been
our
voting
votes.
Democrat for 50 years and never got nothing.
Because he basically said we got the money to do it.
He
What
said,
niggas
I'm a
wanna do?
billionaire. Kanye, you a billionaire. Jay, you a billionaire. We got money here. We doing this and that. Why are we not pulling together? Like you said, let's come together as this power circle and create this black political party. All of a sudden, Frico.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Tyler Perry was basically talking also like in a sense like they don't want you to recognize your greatness, your power, and by him being in a position of power, that's more of a stronger influence because now it's not just somebody that they look at redeemed as who are you or broken just talking. He has the accolades and stuff to prove what he's saying is true. You know what
Also,
I'm
too,
saying?
once
By
upon-
being an embodiment of it.
Well, I was gonna say also too, when blacks start talking about power outside of athletics and entertainment, that shit does scare them. You know what I'm saying? When we start talking about political parties and stuff like that, that right there gets people nervous. Nobody wants to hear that. So when you start talking about making our money and putting it towards us, that right there makes people very uncomfortable because at the end of the day, once we start talking business, that's a sign of war. Because at that point, our money is no longer cycling with those other folks. So our money's no longer going to the Italians for the Gucci's and all that other stuff. Our money's no longer going to the Koreans for the nail techs and anything like that. What I'm saying is once we start putting our own money down for us, that makes everybody uncomfortable because we know our black dollars goes with everyone else. We keep our money amongst us, that's going to affect a lot of businesses that's non-black.
You know what's crazy? Because I seen something that made a great point, and it was just basically like how dangerous the black man is when he's sober. And this is why they predominantly dropped a lot of stuff in our neighborhoods and doing all that because
Liquor store on every corner.
yeah, liquor stores
Liquor
on
store
every
and
corner.
church.
But when you go out of different spaces, you don't really see too much of that. You don't see liquor stores. You see a lot of more healthy places. You see a lot of different things that's not getting you that. But having a sober mind is actually more dangerous. Being able to think. If we high and just enjoying, we're not even facing nothing to even overcome nothing. We're just cool at being in this
We're
fog and in
escaping.
this cycle where we at. Yeah,
We're escaping
And
with
don't
this
forget what
temporary
Kanye
drug.
said. Even if you got a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe. They will give you unlimited funds as long as you're not using it to empower your people. We hear them say this time and time again. It don't matter how much bread you got if the seemingly quote unquote alleged oppressors are the ones giving you the money. It's like, yeah, I give you the money, go spend it on hoes, go spend it on designer, go travel, get your
And
nice
you
car,
go
nice
spend it within
houses.
us, in our community.
The second you try to empower your folks, that's war, like you said, because what if all of y'all rise up to power to rival us? Now y'all don't got to rely on us no more.
Exactly.
And y'all could damn near overtake us because number one, you are the culture. So if you're monetizing on yourself the way we monetizing on you, that's who do we monetize on?
And on
Right.
top of that, too, like you said, if they're giving us the money, we typically spend our money with their culture. So it's like, essentially, we're recycling the money they're giving us and putting it right back in their pocket.
Right back
so
in
we
their
keep it
pocket.
in our community. Again, where are they going to get this money from now? Where is this going?
Even when you think about it, it's so cold because when you think about everything, we give the money right back. Essentially, if like you said, y'all got houses or you got bills to pay, if you get paid, where does that money go right back
It
to?
goes right back to the
You give it
industry.
right. Regardless, if you go to the grocery store, who owns that grocery store?
Yeah.
You go to pay your car note. Who owns that? Who owns those lots? Who owns all that? You know what I'm saying? When you pay your rent, or even if you pay your mortgage, you're giving that money right back in their hands. It's never really circling through us. And then when we do have our businesses, we're not necessarily going to help each other out in that sense for the most part. So.
But
I
if
just think
somebody
we just got to smarten up.
But if Jay-Z, if the people that have the power to influence, like the Jay-Z's, like the Diddy's and things like that, if they were to come together, at least with them, they can start an influence of people that follow them and create the business amongst them.
The problem with that, I think, is sometimes they don't be ready to cut those relationships off. So it's like
Okay.
you might
I see
be
what you're saying.
they might be in the structure of being a puppet to these people. Unless you get to a point where you go rogue like Kanye did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
To a
that's what
point
they
where it's
don't
like, I
wanna
don't
do.
need nobody else or whatever. You made enough money to where now you are able to work out with your people and do that. And I don't think a lot of them is ready to do that. They want to just still keep trying to get to $1 trillion or whatever else. It's never
That
enough.
number, that number that it really don't mean a big difference.
Y'all better wake y'all game up. It's an all-out attack. It's all-out war, and it don't matter how much bread you got. They just send somebody at you, claim you did some shit, and now your whole empire is at risk. So it's dangerous out here. Like they nigga hunting straight up. That's just what it is. We just
Damn.
gotta call a spade a spade.
For real.
They nigga hunting for real. And this Me Too movement kicked it off.
Oh,
Just believe
yeah.
everybody blindly without questioning anything. kicked it off.
Yeah.
This gender war kicked it off. Y'all not following the blueprint. All of this stuff is being laid out slowly, so you don't notice what's going on.
Same thing
It's
with
like-
Jonathan Majors, the accusation. He didn't even do it. The
forgot
Me
about
Too
that.
movement.
Cuz didn't even bounce
He
back
didn't even
from
bounce.
that.
Hey, man,
If
that
it wasn't
this-
for Megan being by his side, it would have been ugly for that man.
Facts, bro. He's just now kind of getting back into like, okay, it's cool
And,
to let
and
him.
it's messed up because he was, not to cut you off, he was moving up.
Disney. He was supposed to be the Disney villain.
Creed, he was supposed to do the Disney. He had the biggest contract, but now he's so tainted. When you look at him, you just think of the
of that
allegations.
exactly, and he didn't do it. Again, we think about the allegations more than we think about his actual career now. When we think about Jonathan Majors now, and that's unfortunate because he was, like you said, he was about to blow. He was on the brinks of like, okay, that's A-star actor list.